I'm coming in.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. It's Eliane here. If you're new to this channel, please do subscribe to become part of the Lee Squad. Give this video a thumbs up. Also, make sure to follow me on my social media, which is just basically YouTube and Instagram. If you want to check out Pinterest, go ahead. On Instagram, that's where I'm mostly active. That's where you'll find my pictures, a little bit about my life. I knew there's a ghost in this house, I just never told y'all. I'm gonna give advice for those of you who are actually moving to another country, and I'm also gonna give you guys a bit on my intake about living in Cuba. I've been here for a year, how I adapted to the communist system, how I adapted to life here in Cuba. Everything you're gonna see in this video. The whole moving process is very stressful, especially when you're choosing a career. But just remember that once you're settled, everything will work out fine, everything will be okay, and that it's not as big of a deal as you probably think it is. I've been in Cuba for a year. I came here on March 15th, and before coming to Cuba, I thought this was a dream. Like, obviously, before you go to a place, you obviously try to search about the place, about the culture, about the people. So beforehand, I always wanted to go to a country that spoke Spanish. Like, oh my gosh, Havana, ooh, I'm gonna live the vida loca, yay! But then it's a lie. You come here, you find the people. The first few weeks, you're like, wow, Cuba. But then when you start living your day-to-day life, it's... Remember when I said, like, I thought Portuguese and Spanish were the same? When you get to the street, it's not the same. So the communication thing was horrible. Obviously, I went for a Spanish course for 4 months. Thank God I learned how to speak Spanish. I had like a 4-month course of Spanish in the University of Havana, and that's how I got the communication part of my problem in shape. But then there was something else, the getting to know your environment. I grew up a certain way, and my society where I was also a certain way. So when I got here and I'm seeing a bunch of people, like, not people, let me be specific, a bunch of teenagers, like younger than me, walking with their mother, walking with their parents and their boyfriend, kissing and touching, I was like, Jesus of Nazareth. Her boyfriend is touching her butt in front of her father. In capitalism, there's like always taxis available and public transport is not a problem. But here they live with public transport, and oh my god, the buses are your worst nightmare if you come to Cuba, because they get super full and there's some people who don't take a bath, and apart from that, you just don't want people on your personal space. And that's what happened. The guy got hard behind me and it was really uncomfortable. It was really scary. But at the end of the day, as women, we get used to certain stuff. So before, due to the language barrier, you couldn't say much. But now that you know the language, you can just go and tell them, vete la pinga. It's one thing being used to studying in a certain language, and it's another thing being used to study in another language. All my life I studied in English, and if you're an English speaker, which I know there's a lot of people, you know that English is not the same as Spanish. There's no bridge in between. There never will be a bridge in between these two languages. So I had to like adapt to new study methods, because before I just grabbed the book, I read and I understand and I got it perfectly. But now it's different. I grab the book, I read, I try to make sense of what I read. I didn't understand what I read because it's a new language, it's different. Probably what you understood is not what it is, and Spanish has a lot of that. You understand something but they meant something else. I had to read a lot. I still do. There's some things where I read and I look and I'm like, I don't understand. But when I search it up in English, I'm like, it's this, but why don't I get it in Spanish? You're forced to be an adult. Like, I'm used to this because I used to live with my siblings. Our parents were in Angola, like, you do whatever. But I was never used to being the one in charge of, like, paying the bills, buying the food, and all this stuff like that. But now, if you don't buy food, you're not gonna eat. You literally learn how to save. You learn how to be rich one month and poor the next month. So you should really worry about saving money as much as possible. Do not take money for granted, because the Cubans here, when it comes to moolah, it's another story. You don't want a landlord knocking on your door like, where's my money? I also had to adapt to the currency here. They have two currencies, CUC and CUP. I got robbed, y'all. The CUC is the dollar here. We can consider it like the US dollar here, and the CUP is like just the money. Prices in the store in CUC, and outside there's prices that are like 1 CUC equals to 24 CUP, and the taxi is usually 10 CUP. But since they know that you're a foreigner, what are they gonna do? You don't know the money, you're gonna give them 10 CUC and they're literally gonna give you less money. So they're robbing you in that case. That you only learn the hard way, how to get used to the money and all that. It's only with time that you actually learn how to use the Cuban money. To me, making friends wasn't really that difficult because I came from Angola, because in Namibia, I don't know if there's a direct flight to Cuba from Namibia, but I went from Namibia to Angola, Angola to Cuba. I came with a friend from Angola, and then like there's a bunch of Angolan people here who are also studying medicine. So in my university, there were Angolan girls before in the Spanish. So I associated with them and we actually got pretty close, and we decided we're all gonna go to the same university, and so that's how I made friends. But in terms of Cuban friends, I don't have any Cuban friend. They're not my friends, they're my classmates and they're my acquaintances. They're people I greet, I ask them how you doing, how's that, but friend, I don't have any Cuban friends. I dated a Cuban, and I don't want to rate the Cubans based on relationship because I didn't date all of them to date them. I just say that if you're gonna date somebody that is like different from your culture and everything that you're used to, just wake up a little bit. Some stereotypes are real, so just be careful with that if you're gonna date outside your nationality. That's what happened to me. I don't want to go full out details because X and X is behind, X stay where they are, and don't ask me why. Not everything was negative. In terms of receiving money in Cuba, it's really difficult because it's a communist country and there's a lot of restrictions and census. Is it called census? Sanctions. So there's a lot of restrictions and sanctions placed against this country. So receiving money is like really difficult. Anybody who's ever interested in studying in Cuba, leave me a message, or you can DM me, or you can go to my Google account and email me a question. I will be more than glad to reply to you guys. All the glory and thanks to God because He helped me a lot. In times where I was alone, I used to pray and God would help me out and not feeling so alone. Obviously, you're gonna sit a lot at home and you're gonna think, am I really gonna be able to do this? But you can. You're worth it. You're able. And if you came this far, it is not to give up. So that is all for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do not forget to subscribe to become part of this channel. If this video helped you in any way, please do share it with your friends and family. So that was it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.